So a couple of weeks ago, I posted um, a picture of the block pattern, something I was trying to learn. I know it's taking me so long, but it's the reason I've had exams at school, so not had time to code. But with that being said, I was able to achieve it, able to learn what I needed to learn, the block pattern and block state management. I was able to come up with this simple app where it's a single screen application. What I'm doing to show different UIs or things on the UI is I'm managing it with Block. So this is my home page, and I have some stuff set up here where depending on the state there's something showing. So if you notice this line, so there are events, block events basically. So the way block works is that you have some events which are these which are like how will I explain it? They're like listeners where when you call them they can, or when you add them to the block they can re-render a state or activate a state. But the states have to be pre when I say pre-made, they have to be available. So these are all the states. So like the states have to be made, and the states too are more like just the way I understand them, they're just placeholders, things you can refer to when you want things to change on screen, if that makes any sense. Then what actually handles it is the actual block, which is this, where you put all the logic of what you want depending on what state it is. I know it's very very big, but let me just show you what I mean. So for instance, now if I should type in Abuja, so it's a weather application. So I type in Abuja, it's supposed to show me the temperature and the pressure of Abuja as of right now. The API I'm using is weather open weather API. That API has, I don't know whether the data on it is accurate or not, but I'm not the person producing the data, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So there's with the whole data, I have models where I have location because I have to get the GPS coordinates and longitude and latitude of wherever city I type in. So that's what the location model is for. It's just a class that holds the longitude and latitude, as you can see here. Then there's a weather model. I'll model what the weather will look like. Although the weather model looks like this, but I only use temperature and pressure in the UI to keep it as simple as possible. Then our providers, what they actually do is they're like APIs for your app, if that makes any sense. So it's inside the provider, you have to like call all the APIs. I didn't really handle errors because, as I said, I'm trying to make this as basic or as simple as possible, just to try and understand how it actually works. Then there is the weather provider, where I call the weather API. Look, the location provider is where I called the location API for me to get the longitude and latitude of it. It's like the code is quite clean in the sense that there are different folders that handle different things. So unlike before where I put all my logic inside the UIs, like inside the screens themselves. I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is a single screen application. So even though things change on screen, there's no routing involved. It's just based on states. So if it is loading, there's a loading screen that will be showing, or loading UI components that show when the weather has been fetched. It's something else is showing. So just stuff like that. So sorry about the blinking on my emulator, my system, I guess. So when I click on fetch weather, it changes to loading states where it fetches the weather. As you can see, some data has appeared here. This particular one that is in yellow is just from the location API. So it gives me some data about the location I typed here. In this case, Abuja. So if you notice, there's name in different languages, and you have latitude right here. We have latitude, longitude, country, and states. So if I go to fetch for another city, I can type maybe Paris, which is in France. Yeah. So you can see Paris, then somewhere here you see country, FR, France, state, Ile-de-France, and all of that. Capital all of France. Yeah, so that's basically it. It's as simple as that. As I said, I'm just using it to test out the block state management um, library, I guess. And another thing I've noticed is that setting up is not quite it's not, I won't say it's easy, it's hard, but it's not easy. It's not it's not very very easy. But what I can say is that from working with it, I realized that when you have it set up, it's quite easy to work with. Like when you have everything set up, everything just makes sense. So it's easy to like let's say you want to add more functionality, you can easily add more functionality, start actually breaking your code. So everything is like encapsulated in its own way, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that was basically it. I just wanted to show you this. Maybe if just for kicks and giggles, I can type in maybe Kaduna and I can click on fetch data. It goes to the loading state. After the loading state, when the data has been fetched, so after a few seconds you see, yeah, this from location. This log right here in yellow is from the location API, Kaduna State, Nigeria, latitude and longitude and latitude, and all of that. So everything works, and the code is very very clean. I think the only problems I have here, like from print, I use a lot of print statements before I start using logs. I don't know why, but I did that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm just happy I was able to do this. I'm still writing exams, so I don't really have time to code and all of that based on my exams. So yeah, thanks.